Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful 15th of November, 2023. Come at the Crusty podcast. Basically, are we done yet or had enough yet? Question I keep asking myself, and questions you should be asking yourselves in regards to the plight of the world, the foolery, and the lackluster leadership coming up, hitting us in the faces on a daily basis. Listener, viewer discretion is advised because I do swear and smoke cigarettes. Please stick around.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me.
Yes, sir.
There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast, a Canadian veteran's point of view on political, social, economic issues and life. Here's Crusty.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the podcast, episode 242 of the Crusty Canuck podcast. My apologies once again for not having a Tuesday rant there yesterday. I was just beat, and I was just really, really annoyed with the way things were going there yesterday. So my apologies, but thank you everyone who has come out and given me some positive comments, especially on my Podbean and my YouTube channel. And once again, if you like and hear what you see, please click like and subscribe and share this content all over your social media platform. Special thank you out there to my friends at Northern Perspective, Cypher and Fox, for making great content still. And if you get a chance, ladies and gentlemen, please check out their work. They're doing some exceptional work when it comes to getting to the root of what the federal government has spent on the Arrive Can, or better yet known as the Arrive Scam app. You know, that application they gave people to double check to see if they're jibby jabbed or not properly. Yeah, but Cypher and Fox do a fantastic job doing that. And I'll leave a link to their channel there too. And their latest Arrive Can inquiry there too. But like I say, once if you like and hear what you see, click like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up too. And I will ask my wonderful audience out there, please, if you can, give me a thumbs up and send a comment. It helps the Canadian algorithm get up there. So it tells the powers that be back in Ottawa to leave us the hell alone and let our content thrive. Anyway, I'll carry on to the episode 242. We had just had Remembrance Day. And I spent Saturday and Sunday with my friends, some veteran buddies, just contemplating, looking at the plight of the world, looking at the way things are going, especially in the Middle East, war in Ukraine, and other wars going around the globe, and looking at the economic and the social plight that's plaguing our country today. Now, I'm not going to sit here and rant and rage and get all mad and emotional, but I will give my perspective, ladies and gentlemen. Every Remembrance Day, that's the day for me where I sit and I reflect. And I ask myself, was my service worth it? I ask myself that every day. Was my 20 years in the military worth it? There were dreams that I had, and I still have them. There's opportunities I had that I should have taken. There's subtle regrets. There's things I should have said, things I should have done, but that's life. And every Remembrance Day, when I sit and I ponder that, and I think about the guys that we lost and the gals we lost, and I think about our country's history, and I think about, oh God, everything all at once, it can be overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. So when you hear things like, are we done yet? Well, regardless if you want to take it sarcastically or not, I can tell you that I am done with the political bullshit. And I am done with the lies, and I am done with the social strife and people screaming to the heavens and worrying about their offenses. I am done with people that expect magical things to happen and don't want to work for it. Now, I'm not trying to sound militant here or belligerent, but I am trying to be realistic. Because when I look at the world, when I see things out there, music, art, film, television, a lot of those mediums have been compromised. A lot of those mediums have been taken for granted and shot out in the wind. Now, there's a lot of artists out there that are still kicking ass, taking names. There's some newer artists coming out, regardless of what genre you follow. Doesn't matter what music you follow. there's still originality out there. There's still passion and warfare, pardon the pun, that try to bring things to light. So when I ask the question, are we done yet? It's sarcasm. Like I said, I am done with phony. I am done with entitlements. I am done with all of this crap from our leaders, from some employers, from people who just don't want to take that chance and be fucking genuine. Okay. And the things that really linger in my fiber is that you've got to be genuine. You've got to be realistic. You've got to be downright mean sometimes and downright sincere sometimes. We have forgotten how to be resilient in times of crisis. Okay. Now, I don't have a lot of footage here to back up my claims. I never really intended to. I just want to get an episode out there for you, my wonderful audience, to let you know that, yeah, I'm still alive, still kicking. And I want to keep the regularity going up. I want to keep my videos out. I want to keep my podcast going. But it's getting difficult to really, really keep in mind the positivity that we have to promote. There are some days I just want to say, fuck it. Why bother? Yeah, and I don't mean like giving up my life. I tried that before. That's a different story altogether. But I get so tired of every time you turn the tube, there's always somebody whining about their feelings. Or every time you open up any kind of newsprint or read anything on the news at all, there's always some kind of victimhood out there. And I would highly suggest, ladies and gentlemen, that all these protests that you're seeing in regards to what's happening in the Middle East, we still have to filter through the garbage to find the truth. And in these situations, there's no such thing as your truth or my truth or their truth or this truth. It's just the truth. Okay. Sometimes Israel was out of line, but a lot of times other countries are out of fucking line too. Now, when you see all these people waving the Palestinian flags and saying free Palestine, well, as far as I know, Palestine was free. Gaza was let go in 2005. It's just the Hamas regime that can't get their shit together. They just want to destroy things, destroy anything Jewish and destroy anything Western. Okay. And I personally don't care how you feel about Palestine or how you feel about Israel. Israel's a tiny little country on the other side of the globe that's had its problems since inception. And Palestine is a tiny little country too on the other side of the globe. Right. And I've had I've had some Twitter feeds and I've had some Twitter rants or from people saying, oh, you guys are Canadian and you Canadians promote genocide and you Canadians are racist. And yet I was not raised in a racist household, nor was I raised in a country that promoted genocide. So there's a lot of disingenuous information going out there too. And I'm not going to sit here and say disinformation and misinformation because that term has been gaslit and dragged through the fucking mud because of leaders such as Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and by leaders such as Joe Biden in the United States. So this is what we're going to have to do to combat this projection and this gaslighting. Stand our ground and encourage the dialogue to the best of our ability. And use this as a last resort, but still stand our ground firmly. Okay. Everybody in my life was not raised to be a bigot or to hate the First Nations. Everybody in my life was not raised to be a racist to anybody. But when you look at the way things are going and the way things are moving, we have leadership that's trying to just to rush this and to rush that and to get this here, to get that there, to win or to conjure or to harness whatever brownie points they may have left to save whatever power they have left. I think it's going to be up to us, the working class people, the middle class, to put an end to that and to start really fighting for some real change.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And welcome back to episode 242, ladies and gentlemen. Are we done yet? And that's the question. Are we done yet? Are we done with the lackluster politics? Are we done with the identity politics? Are we done with the hurt feelings brigades? Are we done with the rainbow mafias? Are we done with all these brigades of so-called virtue signalers, all these so-called know-it-alls, because they might have a piece of paper that's no different than this frickin' menu here, stating that they have the keys to the known universe as we speak? No, they don't. They don't. Because I would have to say at least 2/3 of the world's problems have been caused by people with little pieces of paper stating that they're brilliant when really they're just full of it. Right? Like I say, are we done yet? No, I don't think we're done yet. Are we capable enough to sort through this shit? I think we are. I think we are. And we just have to keep fighting. And I'm not talking the physical fight. I'm not talking the protests. I'm not talking about waving your flag. The flags behind me are who I am. And I've had people say, oh, you're a colonialist. Well, no, I'm a Canadian. Canada was a colony. And technically speaking, there's still some colonial ties to our country. But I don't bow to a king. I don't bow to a queen. You know, I gave an affirmation as a soldier. You know, that doesn't necessarily mean I really believed it. Well, but I also gave my affirmation to my friends and my family and to myself to stand up for what's right. And what may be right for me may not be right for you, and that's fine. That's fine. But I think we can agree that when we talk about these wars that are going on in the Middle East over identities and over religions, I think we have to draw a line in the sand somewhere, don't you? I think we have to realize that enough of these holy wars and these jihads and these prophets, right? The footage I saw when Hamas attacked Israel, some of those videos still get to me. And you have to realize, too, that Hamas wanted the world to see what they were doing, right? And in the news today, you're seeing what Israel has been finding in some of these hospitals. Weapons caches, rockets, bombs, you know. So when you sit there and talk about the innocent people, yeah, there is innocent people on both sides. Innocent people in Gaza, innocent people in Israel, innocent people in Palestine, innocent people in Lebanon, that really don't want anything more to do with this religious bullshit, these religious wars. They want to just go about their business and be left the fuck alone. And they should be. So to all the influencers out there that talk about freedom fighting, ask yourself this. Have you fought for freedom? Right? What freedom are you fighting for? You have the right to free speech. You have the right to protest. You have right to gather and to convolute and talk about things, wave your flags. You have the right to assemble. You have the right to speak your mind. But then when you start pointing fingers and saying, oh, you're this and you're that, and yet you live in a country that has provided you the ability to say such wonderful things and to do such wonderful things, I think somebody's taken a lot of freedom for granted and not appreciating what they have and where they are and what they can do and what opportunities they've literally have been given to do. There's talk in this country about immigration policies and how we have to stop it because there's no place to put people. Because all governments at one hand are in the same bed when it comes to regulations and building and zoning permits and what have you. And other people in said governments just don't want to build anything. Because some of them actually think that they're going to save the world and save the climate by cutting back on building things and taking more money out of me and you, because they believe that the money that we give them or that they take from us is going to save the world and change the weather. Yeah. And believe it or not, there are politicians out there that believe that kind of shit. And they'll brag about getting their jibby jabs, and they'll brag about taking their dog for a walk. And they'll brag about brushing their hair and having a bag of chips and lifting their leg to fart during a Sunday football game. But hey, who am I? So I keep asking, are we done yet? No, there's still plenty for us to do. A lot of things for us to do. A lot of issues we got to face. A lot of things we got to take head on and do head on. Things we have to fix. Bills we got to pay. So we have to keep carrying on. We have to keep rocking on in the free world. I like to think we still have a free world. I like to think we still have the freedom to go out and about and do our things. And do your thing, do my thing, what have you. Well, but I'm not going to do any more Neil Young quotes, but makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense how people like myself and other podcasters and other creators out there, we have all these great ideas, but we just don't have the time to implement them, right? I could go to Ottawa right now and hold a sign up on Parliament Hill. Tell them how pissed off I am, and especially as a veteran, how insulting the Liberal government has been to our veterans and our military services. And now they're harping because they're not getting enough recruitment, enough retention. And yet look at the incentive they've given our military the past 5 years alone, right? Look at the incentive they've given anyone to serve this country's services. What incentive is there for any man or woman to willingly join our military, lay their lives down if need be, right? There's been reports of soldiers having to get donations to pay their bills, to put food on their table, to get gasoline in their tanks so they can go to work. How is that feasible in a G7 country? Right? I remember back in the 90s hearing stories about soldiers having to get second jobs because there was a big pay freeze on, because the government wanted to save more money and cut back on this and cut back on that. And what better way to do it? Oh, let's just cut our military services. We'll make them work hard for less, right? And I'm not just going to pinpoint the Liberal government. The Conservatives are just as guilty for doing that too, right? Sure, they want to promote this and they want to fix this, but they always end up doing something too little too late. And then the next government comes in and kiboshes it all, right? So what we need to do is to get leaders, people's people, not just guys who have degrees in this or gals who have degrees in that. Qualified personnel. Let's get rid of these woke schematics. Let's get rid of these DIE models, diversity, inclusion, and equity, because when we see this inclusion format, you're taking people out of the mix. So how can you sit there and say you're being inclusive when you cut people off? Right? Certain examples of this was this past Remembrance Day, where the chief chaplain of the Canadian Forces gave orders to not to send any prayers because we have to be inclusive. Well, if you want to be inclusive, then incorporate a Muslim prayer, a Jewish prayer, a Christian prayer, and let's say an atheistic prayer, a good blessing of some sort. That's how you be fucking inclusive, right? I've said before in this show numerous times, I was let go of from a job because I wasn't promoting inclusivity. Well, in order to promote inclusivity, you have to include people. You don't just let somebody go because they're not living up to your idea of what's inclusive or not, right? But, what do I know? I've harped about that enough anyway. It's not like they're the kind of people I wanted to work for anyway, because they got no balls, right? To sum this all up, ladies and gentlemen, we are not done yet. I'm not done yet. Neither should you. You shouldn't be done yet, right? There's plenty to do. Things are going to get tough. Things are going to get harder. My wife and I were basically living paycheck to paycheck. Well, like I said, I did have some savings a couple of weeks back, but then another bill came in the mail. So back to ground zero, but I'm still working. There's still food in our refrigerator. The lights are still on, and I can still do this podcast. Maybe there's some money sitting around waiting for me when I get these tax issues sorted out. But needless to say, we got to keep going on. We're not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. We are not done yet. We are not just going to lie down and die and just wait for magic. That's what the other generations are doing. They're waiting verification and validation over their feelings. They're waiting for verification and validation over their OnlyFans shots or their bum shots or their Instagram booby shots, right? They're not waiting to get out there and get out in the world and do something a little more constructive. No, they're waiting to be told how to be constructive and yet still coddled along the way. No. Here's my construction. I go to work, I do my job, love my wife to the best of my ability, and I create. I do a lot of writing. Right? I've been handing in a screenplay to certain individuals, waiting for a thumbs up, waiting for something to happen. But I still get out there and create, and I still push this and push that, knock on a few cyber doors, say hello here and there, and do what I can. It's not perfect, but then there's no such thing as perfect, too. And when I say things like had enough yet, a lot of us have had enough, but we got to keep going on. Have we had enough? A lot of us have had enough with this lackluster leadership and the terrible reporting, the terrible journalism, and all the professional victims out there making bucks at their pity rather than they should be making bucks based on their labor. We've lost the sense of meritocracy. We have lost the sense of good pride and honor in getting something done, right? But the more we persevere to be proud of our accomplishments, the more we persevere to be proud of our merit, then I think the more it'll catch on too, ladies and gentlemen. The more it'll catch on for you, me, and our neighbors, and everybody else that wants it.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
Welcome back to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck. This is episode 242 of Had Enough Yet. I know I said, are we done yet? I was just thinking about that movie. Are we there yet? Are we done yet? Anyhow, have we had enough yet? Yeah, I think all of us had enough. But like I say, we just got to keep persevering, right? And just a reminder, too, if you like and hear what you see, you can follow and subscribe to my podcast on these platforms on Facebook, Twitter, which is now X, Instagram, YouTube, and, of course, Rumble. And please check out my webpage at www.crustycanuck.ca. Links to my bio will be in there. Links to my shops, donation links if you'd like to donate. Please consider donating if you can, too. You don't have to. Well, I always ask, please, but every little bit helps, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, thank you out there to the people of the state of Oregon and Washington State. I'm seeing my stats go up, too. I'm getting a few more downloads from you guys. Well done. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. And especially thank you to those individuals that are in Singapore. I've noticed I'm getting a few more downloads out of Singapore. So thank you very much from across the Pacific. And once again, thank you to my YouTube fans out there. They always make a point of saying, hi, how's it going? Giving me a comment and giving me a thumbs up and a like, what have you, too. So thank you once again to all my loyal fans that have come along and joined me in this journey. It's only going to get better. So, like I say, the 242 had enough yet. I know a lot of people are getting sick and tired, and there are a lot of people that have had enough, and they're giving up on politics. This past week, with all the foreign affairs ministers' BS comments, Krista Freeland's tweaking. I'm sure you can see footage of her out there just kind of tweaking and shaking her head and always, nodding. It's I think she has a nasty cocaine habit or she's got to pee or something. I don't know. You judge for yourself. But I just sit there with my wife and I just, wow, this is what we've come to. Lackluster politics, lackluster professionalism, lackluster leadership, lackluster attempts to get things done, and lackluster attempts to do the right things. Right? I've never claimed to be perfect, ladies and gentlemen. I have my flaws too, but I know bullshit when I see it, and so should you. right? Because you deserve better out there. You deserve to be told the truth like everybody else. You deserve to have proper representation and proper leadership on every day of your life. And you also deserve to have the ability to be left the fuck alone. But too bad we got too many people in this country and in the United States and across the globe that just want to put a kibosh to that and control everything you do. So when I ask, have we had enough yet? Nope, because there's still lots of fight left in every one of us. And I'm not going anywhere. Neither should you. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I have been Crusty Canuck for this episode 242 on this beautiful day of the 15th of November, 2023. I will do another episode this coming Saturday. I'll have a little more time to put together some more bells and whistles for you all there too. And I don't think I'll be as mad as I was yesterday, but needless to say, I'll try to keep it real as possible, keep you all informed, and be as honest as I can. And just assure you too that there's people out there that care, and people out there that will tell you that you matter. We all matter here. Doesn't matter what political spectrum you're on. We all matter. We all count. Like I said, I've been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 15th of November, 2023, ladies and gentlemen. Weather's getting a bit cooler. 'Tis the giving season. Yes, Christmas, winter solstice, whatever you believe in, but I think Hanukkah's coming too. So to all my listeners out there, I wish nothing but good things for you. Try to give each other a hand and do what you can to help each other in these trying times. Like I say, I'll be back this Saturday with more information and another episode, and possibly another segment of the upper Canada, the Canadian polar vortex of bullshit. It's been a long day. I am really tired. Pardon my slurring. I haven't been drinking. I just been working. But yeah, there will be another segment of the Canadian polar vortex of bullshit coming this Saturday. I have to pick a worthy candidate, or maybe candidates. I don't know. We'll see. But stay tuned for that. Pay attention to my community page on Facebook and on the tube for updates, what have you. And like I said, you can also find me on Twitter. You can find me on Rumble, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Like I said, check out my website there too, ladies and gentlemen, if you can. And you can also find my podcast on Podbean too, my hosting page, right, where I get all my downloads. So, like I say, it's been Crusty Canuck on this episode of 242 episodes. Have we had enough yet? A lot of us have, but the fight, we just got to keep the fight going. It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. Like I say, do what you can to help each other in these trying times. And, keep the chin up. Go that extra mile if you can. And humanity merit wins the day. Take care, and I'll see you this Saturday. Bye for now.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me.
Yes, sir.
There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
This has been another episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Stay sane, and thank you for listening. From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast.
Well, smack my ass and call me Judy.